Anyone who has ever watched a documentary about prison life in the USA knows this. American prisons can be tough. There are fights, terrible food, and even prison gangs that brutally punish traitors and enemies. But did you also know that this only applies to regular criminals? Because while almost everywhere else in the world, even in authoritarian regimes like Saudi Arabia or North Korea, prisons do not differentiate between rich and poor, and every social class has to endure roughly the same prison conditions. This is not the case in the USA. For truly wealthy criminals, there is something unique in the world, an actual luxury prison. But what exactly does that mean? It's about the so-called minimum security prisons of America. Colloquially, these are also called Club Fed, a combination of the word Fed for federal, meaning state-run, and club in the sense of a country club. And that's not without reason, because life there really does resemble that in an exclusive resort or a summer camp rather than that in a prison. And the most famous and luxurious Club Fed is FCI Otisville in New York. How different things are there is already shown in the morning, because just like in other US prisons, the day for inmates there does start early, specifically at 6 in the morning with wake-up, but not in a cramped cell. For the roughly 115 prisoners, there are several buildings with large open dormitories and comfortable beds arranged around a spacious green area, almost like in a summer camp, as you can see in this aerial shot. After wake-up, breakfast is served in a relaxed manner, and this too is completely different from what you'd expect in a normal prison, because there, mostly organic food ends up on the plate. Anyone who wants can even order food from outside. That would be unthinkable in a regular US prison, where there's only one standardized, unappetizing meal, sometimes even made from leftovers. In Club Fed, however, there aren't just organic dishes. For preparation and storage, inmates also have microwaves and refrigerators at their disposal, which they can freely use. Prisoners can also safely store their personal belongings in their own lockable lockers. After breakfast, it's time for work, because yes, even in Club Fed there is a work obligation for inmates. However, the jobs there are much more relaxed than in other prisons. Most of the tasks involve maintaining the park-like grounds, such as mowing the lawn or trimming the bushes. Many of the inmates also take care of the prison's vegetable garden and greenhouse, cultivating the organic produce that will later be cooked into delicious meals in the kitchen. Work is carried out from 7:30 in the morning until 11, and then it's already time to relax again over lunch. While in most other prisons, the old rule, you eat what's put on the table, applies, in Otisville things are completely different, because there is a restaurant where inmates can put together their favorite meal. Particularly popular alongside the homegrown organic vegetables are gefilte fish, a traditional Jewish fish specialty, and soups with matzo balls. As exclusive as this may sound, there is one catch with this great culinary offering. Unlike in other prisons, the wealthy inmates have to pay for every meal. However, matzo balls cost only $3.15, and gefilte fish is just $1.50 per portion. These prices are really no problem at all for anyone serving time in Otisville, because almost without exception, all the prisoners there are wealthy criminals. Many of them are affluent businessmen, lawyers, stock traders, or even celebrities. The prison even has one of the highest millionaire densities in all of America. Among the most well-known men currently serving time in Otisville, or who have been housed there in recent years, is, for example, Michael Cohen, the former lawyer of Donald Trump, who organized hush money payments to prevent negative reports about the president. He was sentenced to 3 years in Otisville for multiple counts of tax fraud and perjury before Congress. In the luxury prison, he even enjoyed one of the largest private cells in the entire facility. And when the coronavirus broke out just 1 year after his imprisonment began, he was simply allowed to leave prison early and serve the remaining 2 years of his sentence at home with an ankle bracelet. Reality TV star and millionaire Mike "The Situation" Sorrentino, who you may know from the show Jersey Shore, also served time there a few years ago. 8 months for tax evasion. Just like the former governor of Connecticut, John Rowland, who was convicted of corruption. As a Republican, he was later even personally pardoned by Donald Trump. Businessman Billy McFarland, who organized the Fyre Festival in 2017, a music festival announced as a luxury event, but which ultimately turned out to be a scam, and about whose fraud even a Netflix documentary was made, served nearly 4 years in Otisville, despite having defrauded people of over $27 million. The fact that 4 years in Otisville don't really represent a harsh punishment is also shown by the afternoon program. Otisville offers a remarkable range of activities with which one can leisurely pass the day. Those who enjoy sports will find an outdoor basketball court, a large baseball field, and even several tennis courts. Even for more relaxed sports, special areas have been set up in the outdoor section of this rich men's prison. Those who prefer indoor exercise can do so in an air-conditioned fitness room with various cardio machines. And anyone who wants to relax with a good read can simply go to the prison's library, where the latest bestsellers are available. Most of the inmates, however, spend their free time simply outside in the sun, having interesting conversations with their fellow prisoners. There are no violent offenders in Club Fed, so among the inmates, who all come from the upper echelons of society, there is a relaxed coexistence. The biggest worry for many prisoners is rather being photographed by paparazzi, because even though it sounds incredible, the prison actually has no walls. There are only signs that say you are now outside the prison grounds. And precisely for this reason, photographers on the nearby road repeatedly try to snap pictures of the famous inmates. There is only a yellow line around the grounds which prisoners are not allowed to cross. This problem is likely unique to Otisville because although there are quite a few of these luxury prisons in the USA, the others at least are secured with fences and walls. But that doesn't mean that there aren't also plenty of amenities there. In fact, there are even minimum security prisons that offer leisure opportunities more exclusive than Otisville. In the women's prison, FCI Otisville in the US state of West Virginia, also known as Camp Cupcake, courses in cosmetics, business, and even yoga are offered. And for the many female prisoners, there is even a full wellness area. It was there, by the way, that the well-known TV host and chef Martha Stewart served 5 months after being convicted of insider trading. Perhaps the most extreme when it comes to leisure opportunities, however, is the Louisiana State Penitentiary in Angola. On the enormous prison grounds there are, among other things, regular rodeo shows, and alongside other amenities there is the only golf course in any prison at all. On the golf course, built in 2004, inmates who have proven themselves to be especially trustworthy can play golf together with staff and visitors. But back to Otisville. After the dinner, where inmates of course again put together their meals themselves in the well-equipped cafeteria, they can continue moving freely around the park-like grounds and do what they want. Many of them attend evening services together, which are regularly held in the prison. Many of the inmates also use the free time for further education. FCI Otisville offers courses on subjects like astronomy, business, or real estate for this purpose. Weekly movie nights and lectures with guest speakers also provide additional entertainment, and anyone who doesn't feel well can simply visit the in-house clinic, which offers top-quality healthcare. Write to us in the comments what you think of the conditions in these prisons and whether you think that such treatment is fair compared to that of other typical prisoners. Bye, and see you next time.